Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is the Unravel Collective. My name is Yvonne Constancio. I channel the Ninth Dimension Arcturian Council, and this week is your May Q&A, where I asked you all to email me your questions for the Arcturians, and I'm going to go ahead and do a channeling. I'm going to select 5 questions from my email list here. And I have not looked at these previously. I like to just keep that for the channeling in the moment. So I will just sort of be feeling my way through these as far as what pulls me or who pulls me in to look at their question and channel it. Before we get started, I would like to let everyone know or remind everyone that if you live here in the Nashville area, the Frequency Center, which is a nonprofit that Ramona Reed, my partner, and I run, is having their 2nd annual spring fundraiser. We are in the midst of creating a retreat and meditation center or sanctuary in Abiquiu, New Mexico, where eventually we will be able to host funded and sponsored retreats for those who may not normally be able to afford a weekend retreat somewhere beautiful in a space where they can be alone with their thoughts and healing and create space for meditation, acupuncture, Reiki, whatnot. Even just walking on the land is a healing experience. And here in Nashville, what we have accomplished so far is creating programs in our public schools for our elementary school children. Last week, Ramona finished up with 3 weeks of sound healing for 4th graders, preparing them and helping to soothe their nervous systems before big test time that was ahead of them. And they wrote her some of the sweetest letters. Maybe at the end of this video I'll put some of them up so you can read them. They are so adorable. They loved it. So yeah, we are developing programs here in Nashville with school children. We are also reaching out to communities who would benefit from sound healing. And our fundraiser is June 4th. Brittany Howard will be performing, Allison Russell, Will Hogue. We have a round of songwriters, Shelley Fairchild, Shelley Tackett, and Lila McCain. And last but not least, one of my own clients, Eva Snyder, who is a talented musician songwriter. Not only that, the meal will be provided by Chef Sean Brock of the Audrey, the Continental, and Joyland, and who was a chef also featured on the Netflix series Chef's Table. So it's going to be an amazing night. If you are here, please, please, please come and have a fabulous evening with us and help support our mission. Now, let's get on to the Q&A. Yeah, that's why you're here. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to be looking at the computer to find these emails. The first person who stands out to me here, name, is Donna. And her question is, my beautiful daughter suffers with anxiety and panic attacks. Okay, I don't want to read all this personal information, so let me just look at this real quickly. Okay, so I'm going to skip over some of this more private stuff that she shared with me and just say her beautiful daughter suffers with anxiety and panic attacks. My thinking is that stress is creating her illness. I know self-love and self-compassion is so important for her healing, but do not know how to help her understand this. What can I do to help her healing? Thank you. Okay, so we are going to focus on that. What can I do to help her healing? She suffers with anxiety and panic attacks. All right, let's see what the Arcturians have to say here. The first thing, my dear one, that we see is that you are helping in her healing. And so we do not want to dismiss, let's say, the aspects of which you are already being of great support to her. And so we want to remind you here first that You have made an agreement here with one another to be with one another during this challenging time, to be the one that will be of support to her during this time, to be the one who will continuously shine a light in this respect, to have her not forget that yes, she will be there for her family. She will be a loving, nurturing presence for her family. And let us remind you also that regardless if a human passes from the human body or not, this does not change. She will always be the loving, nurturing presence she would like to be, whether she is in this body or she is not. And we know this is a difficult thing to grasp or to hear or to accept, because we all want to keep things just as they are. We want to keep our loved ones close to us here. And we do not want to see children suffer, of course not. On soul level, however, these things, these types of experiences, are seen from a bigger lens. And so, while yes, for the human it is challenging, from soul level, this was designed in a way to cause growth out of love and respect for one another. Now, we are not saying this to say that your daughter will be leaving the human body. No. We simply want to remind everyone of this choice that is made, and that life is eternal. And soul bonds can never be broken. So this is something we would like to remind everybody. Now, as we get to the question, what can I do to help her healing? And this idea that you feel stress is causing illness, panic attacks, and anxiety, well, let's take a look and see what guidance we can offer here. Yes, there seems to be a lot of fear within the nervous system at this time. And this fear causes anxiety. This fear causes panic attacks. There is a fear that I will one day be gone. There is a fear that I wish and desire to never leave the side of my children. And yet, it has come so close to this being, something manifesting, let's say, my worst nightmare, so to speak, as we have come so close to this actually occurring. And so this has been trauma, yes? Trauma being built inside the nervous system at this time from this experience of these close calls, so to speak. And what's needed now is to accept the day she has now, the moment she has now, here and now, the gratitude for this moment. The gratitude builds within itself a new manifestation, so to speak, a new day. And this is very important for the human, to live in gratitude, so that this is the strongest foundation, so that this is where the new day is built, the new possibility is created, where expansion can occur in a space of gratitude. And little by little, with this acceptance of a new day, this thrill for a new day, the panic and the fear of what could have happened or what might happen, this will ease. But it also does take acknowledging that there is fear here. We cannot ignore the fear. We cannot ignore that there is trauma here, that the fear has caused a great disservice to the body at this time. Yes. And when there is dysregulation of the nervous system, of course, this can create more illness. Yes. We believe everyone understands this by now. So it's very important not to pressure her into dismissing the fear right away, not to pressure her to feel as if something is wrong. What's wrong with you? Please stop. Stop being so stressed out. Talk to the fear. Say, hey, I'm here. I understand why you're scared. I understand that what we have experienced was incredibly scary. But guess what? Our worst nightmare didn't happen. It's not going to happen. Because here I am in this moment, right here, right now. And instead of living into the fear of what could happen or might happen or almost happened, I'm not going to give the energy to that. I'm going to give the energy to loving my children and feeling the full capacity of my love for them right now while I can in this moment, because that's what I live for. That is what I live for. I don't live to create a world, a make-believe world at that, because it is not true in this moment. I don't live for what could have happened, might happen, or almost happened. I live for love of my children, love of my family, love of my life given to me right now in this moment, this present now moment. And hold that in gratitude. It's very powerful, very powerful. And it will take time to let go of all the fear. And perhaps maybe it won't 100% be gone, because we are human. But encourage her to hold gratitude, as we discussed earlier. And be there with gratitude for her as well. And all gratitude for what this entire experience has brought to the family. Because you have learned something. You have grown from this experience, as challenging as it has been. Each one of you who is in her world has been impacted in a way that has caused growth. So hold gratitude for this, and hold gratitude for this moment right now that you have with one another. This is our advice and guidance. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Wow, that was nice. Thank you for your question, Donna. That was very good. Okay. Oh, I need some chapstick. Hold on. All right. Let's look at the next question. Kelly. Is Chief Blackhawk one of my guides? Okay. I don't know who Chief Blackhawk is, but I guess we'll find out if he's one of they. I don't want to gender your guide. If they are your guide, one of your guides. All right, let's see. Is Chief Blackhawk one of my guides? Yes, dear one, of course. Yes. This is a very simple question to answer, and yes, what comes up right away is yes. And this is something that we find funny that you would ask because you already know the answer to this question. What we feel is a sense of a great connection with this guide, actually. This guide seems to have been with you for all of your lifetime, playing a dominant role, coming in and out of this more upfront, forward role from time to time, but with you throughout the entire life. This is one of the guides that you have created your life plan with. This is a guide that you actually visit quite often to collaborate and say, hey, this is where I'm at. How do you feel? Am I tracking right? Am I on the right path? Am I making the choices that we both collaborated that I thought would be good for me in this lifetime? Is this time for a challenge? Is this time for some fun? It's a very easy relationship with this guide. From what we can see, it's a very loving relationship. It's a very like a good best friend, so to speak. If you were humans together, you would go out for a drink. This is the type of energy we sense here. We sense that this being is quite wise, but also at equal level with you, so to speak. So there is not a hierarchy here. There is not something where this particular guide lives in a higher dimension, so to speak, or a different plane than you, so to speak. You are at equal level, so to speak, but you are partners. You are partners and you visit each other often. So yes, this is a guide of yours, and a very, like we say, a very good best friend to you, to each other. Yes. And in fact, what we're getting now is that because it is possible to live in different planes at once, in different existences, so to speak, or different realms, we see that you are also a guide to them in another dimension where they are experiencing a life. It is not clear at this time if this is a human life they are also experiencing at this time, but there is definite guidance that you give one another. So this is very interesting relationship you have. Very beautiful, beautiful. So yes, thank you for this question. Okay, thank you. That's cool. All right. If you're noticing some choppy cuts between questions, it's because I am just saving each question as I film it and transferring it to my computer and then starting over. That's that. So while I was waiting for the last question to download, I went ahead and picked out another question here from Mike. And I already pre-read it while the other one was downloading, to make sure there wasn't too much private information here or anything sensitive. So I'll go ahead and read that now. Is my partner part of my blueprint plan? We seem to be completely opposite, lack harmony, and often disagree on most discussions bitterly. While we've been together for 2 decades, we've only stayed together because we are raising our son, and I didn't want to be separated from him while he's growing up. Was our bitter relationship planned so that I would grow and evolve on my spiritual path, and perhaps for her too? Also, my father's father abandoned him before he was born and was raised without a father figure. My father, however, was a loving father to me. I didn't want to repeat the cycle that happened to my dad with my son. Was that also part of the plan to help heal my father's lineage? Okay, so there's a lot here. Let's see. Is my partner part of my blueprint plan? Was our bitter relationship planned so that I would grow and evolve on my spiritual path? Okay, so we're going to start there and just help me hold the question also. So let's see. Hello, dear one. Yes. Well, while we take a look at this question and this idea of blueprint and plan, we do want to say that yes, of course, If this is the reality before you, then yes, you have agreed to have this be part of your blueprint or plan, yes? And while there are many avenues in which you could have gone with your choices, this was one of the avenues presented to you that you chose for yourself. So when we create a plan for ourselves, so to speak, it does not necessarily mean that it is written in stone. There is always room to move into a different direction depending on where we are at that point in our lives. So we can present ourselves with this person, or this person, so to speak, right? And then we choose, oh, well, I had planned on learning a particular lesson by this point, but that doesn't necessarily mean I need to learn it in this way. Maybe I learn it over here. Maybe I learn it by going in this direction. So there is a malleable aspect to our plans. Okay, and sometimes it is very much so. I'm going to definitely learn this very challenging thing in this particular way. So I will only present that to me at this point in my life. However, for you, you did present yourself with an option of opportunity at the time. And you may or may not be able to recognize that. But that is because with each choice that you made, you followed the adventure of that choice, so to speak. Yes? So, when it comes to your partner here, let's take a look and see if there is any guidance around this spiritual journey, perhaps, or the agreement around this bitter relationship. Okay, you're distracting me. You're distracting me. All right, I'm gonna go let baby cat outside. Okay, so sorry about that. All right, let me take a second to tap back in. And I will just ask the question, was our bitter relationship planned so that I would grow and evolve on my spiritual plans? We'll just go from there. Yes, of course, this was something you have both planned with one another. Yes, this was an option for growth. This was a possibility for growth. And everything that we experience on the earth plane is created with the intention of growth. And as difficult or challenging as your experiences may be, this is always the intention, yes? So, this bitterness that you are both experiencing, let's say, is a tricky engagement, so to speak. There's a complicated level of growth here. And one of these has been that, how do we say this? That there has been resistance, so to speak, to separate, which would have in itself brought you a different type of growth, which would not have created or fostered any sense of abandonment for your son, but rather created this new idea of healing in a way that showed that we can make choices for ourselves in love and compassion when we are no longer in an experience that is joyful for us. Yes? If we are hurting one another and harming one another, uh, in regards to resisting what we know would be best for us, this is a different type of growth. So in either case, you are growing. And we do not want to create any idea within your own head or hearts that there has been any mistake here or anything done wrong, because that is not the case. Yes, our choices, again, we want to remind you, our choices will always lead us toward growth. And so there were two different pathways you could have chosen. I separate and I learn and grow from this choice. Okay, or I stick this out for my son. It's not fun, I'm not happy. There is so much fighting and discord, and there is growth out that comes from this as well. So either way, there is growth here on your journey for both of you, for your son as well. Yes? The experience you are having, however, leaves us with a sense of sadness, so to speak. Leaves us with a sense of heaviness. That there is a sense of feeling trapped or stuck in something here. Now, this is what we are sensing from you. Not that we are feeling this for you. We are sensing this within you and want to express that to you. So, here we leave you with free will and choice. Yes, the human always has free will and choice in the matter of how they lead their lives, how they choose to grow. Again, any choice offers you opportunity for growth. So knowing that if you were to separate, you can and do have the capacity and possibility to create something quite loving and compassionate and safe for your son, because we know this is a priority for you. This is possible. And if you choose to stay in something that is causing you a heaviness, so to speak, then we ask you to take a look here at how am I actually fostering growth here? Am I actually fostering growth here? And can I recognize it? Can I see it? Am I living it? Am I taking the growth that I am learning here and using it in the rest of my life? Because it is not an isolated thing. If we are trapped and feel heavy in one aspect of our life, that will seep into other areas. Does this make sense to you? Where we are creating a stagnation for ourselves, we'll be creating stagnation in other areas of our life as well, where we feel stuck or unable to move or unable to be who we really are. This will seep into other aspects and areas of our life. So we cannot tell you what is best for you. This is your choice. This is your life. Am I growing here? And am I using that growth to feed and lift and feel liberated in the rest of my life? Or is it holding me in a space of stagnation? And your son, well, he will come upon his own soul journey, his own growth. And he will, regardless of what you choose, take on his own choice in the matter of how I take on what I learned from my parents, what I sensed from my parents, the energy, what I saw in behavior and action between my parents. It will be his choice in how he integrates this information and how he uses it to grow. Yes? So, this is what we would like to share with you today. Thank you very much for your question. All right, thank you. Okay. Let's see the next question. Roxanne, let me read this really quickly. Okay, I'm a physician and have been looking for a while to become a coach online to help people feel good. I'd like guidance in the next steps to follow for this business to be successful, fun, and most of all, satisfying. Should I do both at the same time? Is hypnotherapy a good option? Okay, Roxanne. Okay. Let's see what they have to say. The first thing we see, my dear one, is that this is a very good thing you are moving into this. Yes, you are made for this type of work. So this is going to be successful without much effort from what we can see, because this is a vibration that you already reside in. This is a vibration that in frequency in which you are already caring for others in this way. Which is why you felt compelled to move in this direction, because this is already a natural way or part of your being. So yes, this will be successful because you are following the intuition of your own body, of your own gifts. You're expressing yourself in a way that's very natural to you. So there will be little effort here in terms of having to make this a success. You are already successful at what you do in terms of the frequency and service of which you offer. Only now, it being a business, you will be getting income for it, yes? So you are already doing this work. You have been doing this work. And as you can sense, it is successful, yes? So what we're seeing is a bright light around this opportunity for you. We're seeing that this will work out for you. Let's see in terms of should you do both. There is always an aspect of being responsible on the earth plane. So if you need to feel a sense of security by holding on to your first job or career while you get this one off the ground, that is absolutely a wonderful idea. We do sense that that is important to you, security and comfort, having money, yes, in the bank where you don't see or feel it is declining and having this cause some type of way of anxiety for you. So create a sense of security here for yourself in whatever way or manner that feels right for you. Maybe that is part-time at this first job as you begin to build the next job here for yourself, this new business opportunity. But we do see that this is going to be successful, so there is no concern here to have you think that or feel any doubts here. Yes, you can release any doubt because this will be a success. And we want to acknowledge you for the opportunity that you are providing yourself, but the service that you are providing or going to provide for others in way of an energy exchange here now, where I can give of myself freely in my gifts, yes, and create an energy exchange of income at the same time. So this is a beautiful, beautiful trajectory that we see you moving into. And we would like to congratulate you on this, for taking the courage to move and step forward into an unknown, so to speak, and to be able to say, you know what, I have spent so much time on all this other training. I have spent so much energy and money to be trained in this other career, and that is very difficult for some people to let go of. That, oh, but all that time and money that I have already invested. This is something that one must allow yourselves, one must allow oneself to release. It doesn't matter what you have already done or what you have already spent your energy and time on, or money on, resources on. This is a following of the heart here, a following of your natural gifts, a following of an expression that wants to be expressed, of wanting to be of service. And this itself is what will bring so much, almost as if canceling out the other time and energy you spent on something else, which perhaps at a time you did love and got you to this place. So there is never wasted energy or time. However, what we see is this is going to fill you up in a manner that causes you to be lit in a way that charges you, yes, that almost makes up for any sort of lost time here, or energy or resource. So wonderful work, my dear one. We encourage you to keep moving forward in this way, in whatever manner. It creates a light in your heart. So if this is hypnotherapy, wonderful. If not, allow it to step aside. You know, if this is something that causes you to feel curious, to feel like a child in exploration, or a child in play, creating something, offering something here, then please follow that. Yes, because what we see is that your heart is very strong and is quite gifted in holding space for others. So in whatever way that manifests for you, in whichever way you wish to express that and share that, we say, absolutely, take those steps forward in that direction. So thank you very much for this question. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, last question. And while that last one was downloading, I went ahead and picked out another one by Larry, submitted by Larry. And let's see, this is kind of a long question as well here. Not the question itself, but the information that I want to share with everybody here that Larry provided. Because I do think that lots of us struggle with this, and I myself as well. So I just want to share everything that Larry shared with me. Okay, so let's start over here. Okay, my question is around the mix between religion and spirituality. You have touched on it a little bit in a couple of your videos that I have watched, but I'm struggling with it a bit. I've been a Christian all of my life, and as I meditate, I ask God and Jesus for protection while I ask for guidance. I am pretty sure that there is a correlation between what we learn in the Bible and the channeling of spirits that I have heard. I have held for some time that the Bible is very interpretive of the person reading it. I have also heard from a couple of channelers that in order to receive good messages, you must let everything you know go and trust the message. So finally, this is my question. How do we give in to spirituality? How do we give in to spirituality without giving up our core beliefs that keep us protected? I love this question. Now, I can't speak to everything else that you mentioned here. I am certainly not one to say, you know, what other people have said about the Bible. But I am very interested in what they have to say about this really beautiful question, okay? So, how do we give in to spirituality without giving up our core beliefs that keep us protected? All right, let's see what the Arcturians have to say. Yes, this is a beautiful question indeed. And so we want to first acknowledge you for the courage to even ask this question, my dear one. We know that growing up in what might be um, seen or felt or sensed as um, a religion in which channeling or spirituality of this kind, so to speak, can be judged, and that can be inside you for quite some time, holding on to a fear of seeking information, seeking comfort, seeking uh, guidance from elsewhere, yes? From what you were taught that is different from what you were taught as a child or what you grew up with. So, what we're seeing now is a great turn on the earth plane, yes, where spirituality is coming into a space of acknowledging that we are one, yes? And that we are one through the seed of our Creator. We are one through the seed of our Creator, and that Creator and creation lives within each one of us, and we are connected through this beautiful seed, each one of us being impacted by, are we in tune with the seed within us? Are we in tune with the Creator? Are we in tune with our own creation? Being an active participant here with our Creator hand in hand. So we are Creator and creation, one at once, one and the same. It's a beautiful thing. So this is where we are beginning to question the idea of religion, because we are coming into a phase of time where we are coming into the knowing of our Creator and creation within us. And they are not separate from one another. So when you come to meditation and you call on God and you call on Jesus for protection while you ask for guidance, it's a beautiful thing because they are already within you, dear. It is already part of you, part of everyone, truly. And there will be spirits, let's say, Jesus being one of the highest and purest of spirit, yes, a Christ consciousness embodied at one time on earth and now still within the frequency of the earth plane because of the embodiment that happened, truly occurred in the reality of the earth plane, forever changing the frequency here along with others. Jesus, very much so, causing a great impact on the earth plane. Of course, it is okay to call on Jesus for protection. Yes. You may call on anyone you wish that resonates with you, that causes or offers you comfort and safety. This can be, we speak to anyone here. This can be anyone you call on that you feel you have a bond with. Yes? And once again, there is no separation between God that lives within you, Creator, and the creation of who you are, and the creation of what you are creating here, now, on the earth plane. We have mentioned several times that this is a time of transformation and transition. One of those is this coming home to ourselves, coming home to Creator and creation, to live from the heart space, creating the love and acceptance needed that will cause the transition and transformation. And so when you are doing this work, this is what you are opening the world to. There does not need to be guilt or shame, or that if I am spiritual, I cannot believe in Jesus, or I cannot call on Jesus, or whatnot. This is not so. Where there is love, there is love. That's all that needs to be said there. And the work you are doing right now, my dear one, is going to have an impact on the entire world, because you are part of the collective that is causing a shift in consciousness here. So we want to acknowledge you for your bravery and courage to step out of something that may result in some type of judgment or uh, who knows, criticism perhaps. Because it is within you that you are listening to a deeper message that the external world, some in the external world are not yet ready to tune into. So you are a leader in this. You are listening. You are listening to the seed within you that is God's message. And this is all that's ever needed in order to step forward in integrity and in love and in service. So we want to acknowledge you for being one of the leaders in the transition of our consciousness here, in the transformation of our world here. It is powerful. It is powerful work. It is brave and it is courageous. And we say thank you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you. Thank you for this question. Yes, thank you. All right. Okay, thank you so much for submitting all of your questions for this May Q&A. I really appreciate everybody who trusts me in submitting their questions for channeling guidance from the Arcturians to see what they have to say and what they have to offer you. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and I will see you next Saturday. And if you want to check out the letters that the kiddos wrote after their sound baths and sound healings, stick around a little longer just to read those real quickly. I love you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.